are all well. Welcome to weekly Sunday market update. This is Dr. George, and let's have an insightful session. Guys, as I go through the sessions, the markets that I have and what I'm talking about, if there's something you want me to look at specifically, I'll be able to get to it. But before we do that, there is a disclaimer that I just need to read out to you. The following content is purely educational and not investment advice. Views expressed reflect the speaker's perspective at publication time only. Your personal financial circumstances, risk tolerance, and investment objectives may differ significantly. Therefore, always consult with qualified financial professionals before making investment decisions. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. Please take note of that. All right, so we are at the end of June, 28th of June. And I think it's interesting to get a perspective of where we are in the market as we head into the last 6 months of the year. So that's what I want to do at the broad basis. And I'm going to be using the monthly time frame. If we have a bit of time at the end, I can always drill down to any of these markets on the daily so you can kind of get a sense of what you're going to be looking at on the daily in greater depth. But as we go through, I'm going to just flip through both. So this is cable. So I've got my list here. I'm going to start with currencies and look at some commodities and then indexes. And let's just see how far we go. So if you're having a look at cable at the moment, what stands out? Pound USD on the monthly basis. Well, we have that trading range. So if we look at this big bear candle here, which was almost a year ago, right? July 2025. So we had a 2, 4, 5, 6, 5 months bull run that ended in July. Then we just stayed within that range for the past year, so to speak. So what is likely to happen? Here is something that may be useful for you just to bear in mind, whatever time frame you are trading off. The market tends to keep on doing what it has been doing for quite a long time, probably longer than we expect. So it would not be unusual for us. This is period separator for the year, going into next year. So it will not be unusual for us to see this continue to happen. No. That will not be unusual. So the market can keep doing that whichever way it wants, 3 bull bars, 2 bears, 1 bull, 2 bears, might test that, might go back. So the market can keep on doing that. This is purely just on a price action basis. So if you're thinking, okay, I want to take a view on cable long term, bear that in mind. We are in a tight trading range. Now, where do we see opportunities if this was the time frame that you're trading? Bear in mind, as far as price action is concerned, whatever you see on any time frame can repeat itself another time frame. So there's this term, you've probably heard me speak about it. The market is fractal. Markets are fractal, F-R-A-C-T-A-L. So if I didn't have monthly here, or if you couldn't see that that's monthly, this could be any time frame. It could be daily, weekly, 5-minute, 4-hourly. So any of that can happen. So you can stay within that range. But if you were a bear, what do you want to see? If you're a bear, you're saying, okay, let's see if we can continue to put pressure on the valuation of this particular asset so that we can break out beneath here. And if we do that, if the bears were strong enough to break out beneath this level, who knows, right? Who knows what can happen? You can see this candle. We don't know if that took the whole month to form or it was just maybe something dramatic in the last few weeks. So we might still have something happen in the next 2 days of June, to have the bears close beneath here. And if the bears see that and say, hang on, you've got three beautiful bear candles and we've just closed beneath here or got into it, we want to break out beneath that level. And their very first target would be a measured move. Okay. I think for the sake of this discussion, I can put things back later on just to keep it clear. Their first target for the bears would be to get to a measured move. Now, why would that be logical? And why would the bears want to do that? Because if they can do that, then they can come and test the law of this bull breakout. Okay, because bulls have defended, these are strong bulls. They have defended, their bull breakout quite vigorously. And why do I say they've defended it? Well, if you see the low of the bull breakout, the high of the bull breakout, that's the midpoint. They have stopped the bears breaking out beneath the low, beneath the midpoint. So at the very least, the bulls wanted to control that, and that's what they've done. At the very least, what the bears would want is to break out beneath this level, which is the midpoint, then accelerate down. So if you trade in cable, and you want to just get a view of what's likely to happen from a price action perspective, do keep that in mind. What I would do if I was trading this, I would just leave that trading range rectangle in place. Just leave it in place. Don't do anything. So if you go down to your daily, there it is. Okay, so you don't even have to pop up to the monthly again. You can be watching things on the daily quite nicely. And deciding on your trades, whatever the case may be. And hang on a second, there is this law here, which you put in on the monthly. That's a key level as far as decision making is concerned. So you need to keep a lookout for that. Okay, that's a quick monthly view on cable. As I said, based on time, we can always come back. Let's have a look at another one, another currency ledger, Aussie. Now, again, when you're looking at higher time frames and you just want to get a sense of what's happening, I wouldn't waste too much time in deep analysis. That's not going to help you. Just have a quick look and say, is there anything that's pretty obvious here? Well, something that's obvious is that we are in some form of a trading range here. And in this case, just by a quick look at it, you say, oh, hang on a second, the bears, it's really been a tight trading range, right? Overlapping candles. No one has managed to put within this range 2 consecutive candles. Bulls haven't, bears haven't. So, whoever is strong has been overwhelmed the next month. So if this kind of pattern is going to carry on, then the bulls will say, well, we can just start buying down here and put another bull candle, and the bears say, well, okay, we'll do the same, we'll sell, and we can keep on doing the same thing. So it can remain in that tight trading range for the rest of the month. Or again, the same kind of thinking. Whoever is strongest here, overlapping means you really have to be exceptionally strong to change the direction of the market. Bears would want to do the same thing. And you can see the targets are not too far using measured moves. That's where the bears would want to get to using measured moves. And they would have cleared these 3 consecutive bull candles that the bulls have put together. But to get there, they have to overwhelm this, get around this repeating strengths, if you like. I mean, that's not a that's not a technical term. Bull, bear, bull, doji, bear. Bulls can come back, so they have to be exceptionally strong. Uh, if the bulls are strong, they get up here, and they're exceptionally strong, then they want to get up there and put a measured move the other side. But before they get there, they have to put another bull candle and then convince everyone that there's enough force by the bulls to break out above here. So again, tight trading range market that is forming. Let's put the CAD Canadian up. Ignore all of this stuff. See, because I'm using the same chart just to put things in. So some of the lines, from another chart will come through. Now, this is interesting. If we didn't have, well, we have it. Let's use that. Before we got here, we could have said, remember, this is a monthly, end of last month. The same thing we've been talking about. We could have said here, oh, we have a tight trading range. Okay, before we go to this month. And the same kind of thinking. This is good for illustration where Boozer said, well, if we're strong, we need to break out above that. Okay, and if we break out above that, then our objective is at least a measured move. And if we get to a measured move, well, we've really shown the bulls that we're strong enough to, get to test the high of that big breakout that they had. So the bulls at this stage have broken above the tight trading range that was there. And so far, it looks like a good bull trend candle because it's almost near its high, but the month still has a couple more days. So all the bulls would need is a couple more days. Even if the 2 days just end up, eliminating that tail, it gives the bulls enough confidence to say, hang on, we can follow through and get to a measured move. And maybe if we really are strong in the next month or as the year progresses, we can now take out that particular high. But that's an illustration of what the bulls would love to do on the pound and the Aussie that will just break out of this tight trading range here. Let me just have a look. Okay, that's PH is a good point. When I looked at my Aussie dollar chart, I saw it was off head and shoulders. Okay, so that's what PH was looking at. So, I mean, in principle, is agreeing with me that we might have something that the bulls, the bears would give them an opportunity to jump in and trade. So, I mean, if you had to think that ends up as the actual head, then all they need is to start to sell off, and then we're going to get to that measured move, or even lower if they're strong enough to get down there. So there is a possibility. Just depends, how you want to draw it. So some will be saying, okay, very, very tighter. I can look at that left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and maybe we sell off. So there's a possibility, but it's all speaking to what the bears would need to do in order for them to sell off. Okay, a couple of questions. Let me inquire all this. Okay, there's two PHs. One PH wants to said go to the weekly chart. Okay, so you need to go to the weekly chart to see it clearly on the head and shoulders. The other PH, Patrick Hang, I inquire all these big candles done by institutional. So I'm not sure which big candle P Hang you're talking about. So maybe you can just type in the chart you're looking at and which candle, then we can talk about that. Okay, so that's CAD. Let's have a look at yen. Oh, yen is interesting. What do you guys see? Can you see the tight trading range. And if you can see it, you'll probably seen it like this. It's a channel, but a channel is just a tight trading range that's tilted up or tilted down. In this case, this particular channel is tilted up. So if you're looking at thinking about price action, you'll be thinking, well, there's a breakout. And in a trend, you would have the breakout and the channel. Okay. So there is a breakout and there is a channel. And just to keep it simple, the objective of the channel is to get to the same height as the breakout. So if you assumed the more conservative breakout just at the bottom of this month here, and we got to here, then you say, okay, where did the pullback from that breakout end? It ended here. Okay, so where the breakout, the pullback. Now the bulls want to make the same height they had. This height they had in the breakout. They want to repeat that height here in the channel, or they don't know it's a channel, right? It could just be one big bull candle to get there. So that's the first leg of the breakout. Second leg. Now this second leg is in a channel. Okay. So there's breakout, pullback, second leg is in a channel. If the bulls continue with the channel, they can just keep on going up like that, channeling up, higher highs, up to there, come back, higher lows, keep going up. And their objective will be to get there. That will be the target for the bulls. So if you are a bull and you can see this kind of price action, you can say, well, okay, I'm still going to be comfortable to keep looking for longs as long as I can see where we're likely to go, but I also know there's a key level to watch out for. So if the bulls might happen next 2 days or the next month, break out above this, they're breaking out above the channel, they're reaching the measured move of that 3-month breakout, then they've just broken above this high. You would not rush to just start buying because you expect something to happen from the base, right? Maybe to come back and test here before they accelerate up. But if you're still looking to trade long, you need to keep that in mind. There is that opportunity. If the bulls are strong, they're just going to keep accelerating up. All they need is for the next couple of days, stay above here, maybe just get above that, and still have an opportunity to have a strong bullish month in July. Euro dollar. Okay, you guys, I'm hoping you kind of getting a sense of just to have a quick look at it and say, okay, am I getting a sense of what's happening? If we didn't have this and you were in here, you'd say, oh, okay, get a sense that the bulls are strong, right? It's just when you're looking at these higher time frames, okay, when you're looking at any chart you're looking at, if you just open it and you get a sense what's happening, it really just takes away a lot of decision making or confusion from your thinking. And the confusion is simply, are we bulls or bears? Simply, if you just have a look at that, oh, we're going sideways. Going sideways, trading range. Again, same thinking that way on pound and Aussie, measured moves pretty quickly where the guys would want to go down there. And if bulls carry on, and the bulls can, because this is a trading range, all they need to just come back like when you were here. If you looked at this and said, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna sell, well, you'd have come back and said, but hang on a second, what happened, right? Because big bull candle, whatever causes, taking profits, etc. We're not in a bear trend yet. I'm just going sideways. But when the bears start to break out and do follow through, now you have a measured move. Let's pop in. Click the right one to start with oil. Okay. Big up, big down, and not going to worry about the fundamentals. But if you were looking at this and wondering, well, what's likely to happen, that is a pretty interesting one. bears were strong enough to put 2 consecutive selling months after this breakout and the closing that gap below. So all the bears are saying, well, all we need is to take out this low. Okay, that's the low of 2025. In order to do that, the bears that created this and that just need to follow through and get down here. Okay, now, can they do that? Well, they can, possibly, they really can do that. But the bulls can also come and say, well, I think we are now back in the range that we're at. It is now time for us. That's the last range before we got a breakout. So if you were to say, are you bullish or bearish? Well, look at the most recent price action. I'm bearish until we get down here. We're now within this range. The bears really have to be strong to break out beneath this range. And then they're going to need follow through after that. Would you think of buying? You wouldn't think of buying until you get evidence that the bulls are defending these lows here. And if bulls are defending these lows, if the bulls are defending these lows, this tight trading range would carry on. Then we'd need to see them coming back up above the range. So if you really were pressed to say, going into the second half of the month, what's your view on oil? Well, I'm bearish until we get down to the low of that range. Then we can see what happens after that. Let's pop in gold. Big bull candle and all of that bullish price action has been reversed. So it's not a range. I'm not marking a range. I'm saying all of this bullish price action up to there has now been reversed by that. Well, I'm saying it's not a range. It is a trading range, but it's until we get up there, we're not going to start saying, oh, okay, let's start to sell again. We have to get that tested. It's a range in forms of bulls and bears. But what is likely to happen at this stage? Bulls who created all of this, and it's interesting what has been tested. The last breakout trend candle, the last bull candle that was strong, opening on its low, close on its high, that's the low that's been tested. So if bulls are strong to defend that, then we can expect that we might go a little bit more sideways here. So if bulls are strong enough to defend that, we can expect that to go a bit sideways. So the bulls will come and say, okay, that we're going to defend. We put that bull candle there. We're going to defend that. And let's see if we stay in this range. If the bears, remember, we've got 2 days to go. If the bears are strong enough, then they really have to get a breakout beneath this low and into that candle. Then you can start to say, oh, bears were strong enough to start to reverse that last bull breakout. Let's see if there's follow through. Let's put a couple of indexes up. P hanging a question, but I haven't seen the follow through, so probably nothing for us to consider there. This is US 100. Bulls have been pretty strong. I mean, look at this bull breakout. Bulls were happy with that. Beginning of April, they were happy with the follow through. Now, as far as bulls are concerned, they're saying that's not a problem for us because we have this big bull breakout. And we just have to make sure, this is the bulls, that we don't have that low taken out. So bulls will be active the next 2 days, if you just keep track of US 100, because they want that just to be, a brief pullback, right? So they want that to be the first leg, brief pullback, and then they can say, okay, we have a second leg up here. However, if they're not strong enough and the bears end up, testing that level, then as far as bulls are concerned, if you're still in a trade, you better be considering tightening your stop, if you're trading on the monthly, to below here, because you don't want all your profits to be raised, depending where you bought. I mean, if you bought above there, then you still have to manage your stop, right? You can't wait until all profits are erased. So as far as this market is concerned, because of the strength of the bulls, at this present moment, we are still bullish until we have this low of May taken out. If the low of May is not taken out, this is just a small pullback for the bulls, and they still want to get a second move up there. Let's look at, oh, look at that. That's UK 100. Okay, so far we are kind of stuck in what we have. This is February for the year. Oh, we're not stuck. That's where we're at. The last 3 months, including this month, have stayed within this bear candle here. So it is likely that we'll stay in this range as far as this market is concerned, unless something dramatic happens and the bulls come back and give us a big bull candle. This was the largest bull candle in a long time. If they come back and give us big bull candles, or the bears give us even big bear bodies. This was the largest bear body in a while. They give us bear bodies and break out here, but it is unlikely, just looking at the price action and the kind of ranges we've had in the month, that when I get dramatic stuff breaking out of this range we have for the year. So for UK 100, we might just end up being there. Let's look at one more. Okay, as I said, ignore the lines there from the other charts. Hang Seng 50, we were in a range. And it's interesting, isn't it, that we're talking about, if the bears are strong in all of these other currencies and markets that we have. And this is kind of an example of what we're talking about. Try trading range, and we would have said, if we didn't have this, to say if the bears are strong, they want to get to a measured move. So you can see that immediately on the monthly, Hang Seng is almost at its measured move. So if you're going to come in and say, well, I'm going to sell, you'd have a problem with the measured move of this, month after month range that we have. So you'd need to wait to see what happens here. Are we going to get to the measured move, break out beneath it? Then you can consider taking a breakout or wait for a pullback. But as far as the bears are concerned, based on the price action, they're getting near to their measured move. So some would see that. If you want to look at the highs and the lows, you've got a little bit more room. I just used, so let me show you quickly, then we'll be gone. Highs and lows, so there is a measured move. You could say, and remember on any time frame, okay, I want to just look at the bodies, because someone controls the bodies. If you do that, you're going to have a tighter target, and you're already at the target. So all that says is then be very cautious shorting Hang Seng on this time frame. All right, guys, just check. Okay, that unanswered question, or the question didn't answer, didn't get clarification. So, all right, traders, I hope that was useful. And remember, markets are fractal. So, whatever you see, whatever we're talking about here, if you see it on your time frame, daily, hourly, it will be the same kind of thinking. Take care, and we shall catch up again. Sam, thanks for hosting. Really appreciate it.